Now let's get right to the heart of what you're reaching for. So let us speak your question back to you and see if this is what you're really wanting to understand. So here I am, Abraham, you say. I know that I'm an extension of source energy. I accept it conceptually. I understand it. I could write a book about it myself. I know that I am vibrational in nature, and I can feel fluctuations in the way I feel by what I give my attention to. And so I accept that I am a deliberate creator. I know that I can create a car. I know I can create a relationship. I know I can create physical evidence of my dreams. I know that I can deliberately create, I can manifest. But now what I'm wanting to do is to find some way of using all of these tools of creation and turning them back on the very beginning of that which I am. I want to somehow be able to create in myself absolute belief that all of this is true, that I am an extension of source energy. I want to be more than somebody who's standing in physical form, living a good physical life. I want to finally make that full connection where in every moment that I'm standing in physical form, living this physical life, all of me is living it. Did we get it right?
Not even in every moment, just one moment. The direct experience of knowing of an experience that's more
all
than
right.
just feeling good.
Well, you see, we think what's happened to you is that you have so many of those experiences and you've been holding out for something beyond what connection really is.
Maybe.
You know what connection to source energy feels like? Sometimes it feels like, oh, I've got a good idea. Sometimes it feels like, oh, you really have a good idea. Sometimes it feels like, this is the most extraordinary orgasm I have ever had. Sometimes it feels like this is the best tasting thing I've ever eaten. Sometimes it feels like this fragrance of this flower is beyond anything that I've ever experienced before. Sometimes it feels like, oh, that's interesting. In other words, connection to source energy is a fuller part of you living what you're living right now. Jerry and Esther have been walking around the ship, interacting with you, listening to the wonderful things that you're saying to them and to each other, and saying to themselves and to each other over and over again, how can it get better at the same moment that they are knowing that it will continue to be better? And so we want you to find a way of relaxing and saying, I'm here. I'm here. I'm here. There's no more, I'm here. I'm here even if I'm in anger. I'm here even if I'm in despair, because now I have the tools and now I know the difference and now I can reclaim my power and now I know what to do. And you see, when you are in anger, oh, you're really going to like this, and whether you do or not, we do. When you are in deliberate anger, you're there. Because in the deliberate choice of the better feeling thought, which in this case we are saying is anger, there is deliberate creation and therefore creative control and therefore deliberate manipulation of one's own vibration. And so we just want to say to you, don't demand ecstasy in every moment of your experience. And you're saying, I just want it once. Esther had it when the glacier calved at the right moment. In other words, and all that was about was, oh, look at that. Wouldn't that be fun if that fell off while we are all here? Wouldn't that's the best chunk I've ever seen getting ready to fall in. Wouldn't that be nice? And so Jerry said, let's keep our eye on that. And Esther said, Abraham, what are the odds of that falling while we're all turning here? And we said, give it 10 minutes. In other words, all of you lined that up. In other words, that got ready before you even got here. That was one of those vortexes that had been set into motion. Esther had been thinking about it every day since the planning of the cruise, that there would be some spectacular event that would let all of you know that you are the deliberate creators of your own experience. And so now there are those that would say, it would have happened anyway. We say, you rendezvous with your desires. And when you rendezvous and you consciously know, in other words, that's what we're talking about here. This sensation that you want about being tapped in, tuned in, turned on, this sensation that you want about being the blessed, beloved, worthy being, extension of source energy, that connection that you're reaching for will only be really known by you when you are deliberately setting things in motion and deliberately lining yourself up and deliberately anticipating and deliberately making sure you're right there, and then deliberately experiencing the fullness of the manifestation of it, and then you can say, yes, the juncture is complete. And it will be again and again and again and again and again. The universe is just going to knock itself out to give you the proof, the validation that you are the worthy receiver of all of this good stuff, you see. And unfortunately, your life is just so good
It really is.
that you're tuned in so much of the time that now you're saying, oh yeah, well, feeling good is just normal. And we say, set higher standards.
It's the awareness of non-physical I'm looking for. That I think the awareness of hearing Jerry and Esther talking to Abraham, or Esther's father speaking to her.
We know that one of the greatest services that Esther provides for you is that she is an example of someone who can quiet her mind and allow. The greatest disservice that Esther provides for you is that she can quiet her mind and allow. Because then there's this comparative experience. And we have to say to you, many people will say, oh, it would be so nice that I could be driving down the freeway and I could get a message from Abraham about the policeman that's hiding in the bushes with his radar gun or whatever it is. And we say, you know, it is very bulky and awkward for Esther to have communication with us on a day-to-day basis. Do you realize how much time can go by the time we get her attention, no matter what she's involved in, tugging on her coat, pulling on her ear, getting her undivided attention, getting her into the place where she can actually relax and allow and receive. By the time she hears us, the truck has already run over her. In other words, the guidance that you are getting that is full-blown guidance, it's much more intimate, meaningful guidance, are the impulses that come to you. It's the elation, it's the goosebumps that ripple through you and over you. It's the constant affirmation that you are worthy and that well-being is flowing to you. And so start saying, yes, I'm getting that. Yes, I'm getting that. Yes, I have that. I'm aware of that. Oh, I feel that. I can feel that. And as you start noticing how much of that connection is evident to you, then the connection can become more apparent and evident to you in all of the ways that you want it to be. You can literally say, Esther says to us things like, Abraham, give me a signal by twitching something that I can't twitch. This is the game she plays. So if there's something that I need to know about such and such, give me a signal. And sometimes we twitch quite a while before she even notices she's twitching. In other words, it sort of depends on where she is. But you can set up any kind of intention. When you meditate, tell us, when you sit to meditate, are you able to quiet your mind?
Sometimes more than others. Recently, not as much. I used to quite a bit.
So you know the sensation of detachment. And when you are in that sensation of detachment, next time, prior to sitting in meditation, just say, I would like some physical sensation that goes beyond something that I can do on my own, as a sort of indicator to me that I'm in conscious connection with my source energy. And then feel for the sensation. And what you begin to notice is your inner being is intimate within your body in ways that you have no control. And when those things begin to happen consistently, then you can say, yes, I accept that. What you're helping us to say to all of you is, you are so much extensions of source energy that you don't even know that you are. In other words, so you want stone tablets. We wouldn't take credit for those if we were you. You want stone tablets to appear. You want a burning bush. You want a spacecraft to land in your backyard. And we are exaggerating,
obviously,
but
yes.
when the trouble with looking for a sign is, the reason you need the sign is because you don't feel connected. And
so
from the place of not feeling connected, you can't get the sign.
Makes sense.
So you got to say, the signs are endless, and start noticing them no matter how large or small they are. And the more you pronounce yourself connected, then the broader the connection is and the more sustaining it is.
It's just a different level of being content with the desire, not the manifestation, and then the manifestation comes anyway.
Watch your animals. They
Yeah.
are doing a great job of channeling their higher self. Watch your children. And what are the things that are evident? Most of them are not very self-conscious in the sense that they are concerned about what someone else is thinking. They are more selfishly oriented in that they care intimately about how they feel, and everything else really takes a back seat to that.
That's true.
They don't work very hard on being socially acceptable. They have one criteria in mind, and that is, how does this feel? How does this feel? How does this feel? How does this feel? And your beloved parents and teachers and mentors, so many of them have trained your selfishness away. And now it's not the easiest thing to bring it back. But little by little, you will become the selfish genius that we know and love.
Thank you.
Yes.